Why the system keeps you spending even when you're broke. Picture this. Your account is nearly empty. You know it. You felt it yesterday. You felt it this morning. And somehow by tonight, you still spend money. Not because you are stupid, that would be simpler. Not because you forgot math. Not because you enjoy suffering, that would at least be honest. You spend because modern life was built to keep your hand moving. Tap, swipe, buy, again. Even when the money is gone. That is the trick. The system does not wait for you to feel safe. It does not pause when your rent is late. It does not care that your paycheck already has 12 owners. It just keeps presenting the next small payment like it is harmless. A coffee, a fee, a subscription, a delivery charge, a treat-yourself moment wrapped in cute branding and fake comfort. Because apparently financial collapse feels better with free shipping. This usually starts in a very ordinary place. You are tired, you are stressed, you are mentally cooked. Your brain is not asking big questions anymore. It is not asking, will this damage me over the next 6 months? It is asking, can I get through the next 30 minutes without feeling worse? And that is where the machine steps in. Right on time, always on time. When people imagine spending, they imagine a rational choice. A person compares price, measures value, makes a decision. Very civilized, very clean, very fictional. Real spending is usually emotional first, mental second, financial third. By the time money enters the conversation, the trap is already closed. First comes pressure, bills, bad news, work stress, the low hum of modern panic. The kind that never screams. It just sits on your chest all day and calls itself adulthood. Then comes depletion. Your attention drops. Your patience gets thinner. Your resistance gets weaker. Decision fatigue starts chewing through your judgment. The brain wants relief, not wisdom. Relief. Important difference. So you stop spending to improve your future. You start spending to regulate your state, to soften boredom, to numb frustration, to reward survival, to feel normal, to feel included, to feel like your life is still under your control. It is not retail therapy. It is emotional anesthesia with a checkout page. Small warning. The most dangerous purchases are rarely the dramatic ones. Not the sports car, not the luxury watch. It is the repeat spending that looks too small to matter. That is the termite version of financial damage. Quiet, constant, expensive. Then the social layer kicks in, and this part is filthy. You do not live around prices. You live around signals, what people wear, where they eat, what they post, how they decorate struggle so it looks like success. Modern poverty with good lighting. You see people living in a way that feels normal. New phone, weekend trip, better clothes, nicer apartment, food that arrives instead of food that waits in the fridge. And your brain absorbs the message, not logically, socially. This is what functioning adults look like. This is what not falling behind looks like. So now spending is no longer just consumption. It becomes camouflage, a way to hide that things are not fine, a way to perform stability while stability is actively leaving the building. And the system loves that. Because once spending becomes identity, you stop defending against it. You protect it. You justify it. You rename it. It is not overspending. It is self-care. It is networking. It is convenience. It is quality of life. It is just this once. It is not that bad. It is everyone now. Yes, the last words of many financial disasters. Then comes the structural lie. One of the nastiest ones. The idea that because a payment is small, the decision is small. $10 here, $15 there, $29.99, monthly, auto-renewing, interest adjusted, buy now, pay later, split into 4, delayed, smoothed, hidden. That is how pain gets laundered. The full cost disappears. Only the entry point remains. Your brain sees access, not burden. Tonight's comfort, not next month's suffocation. This matters because the human brain is terrible at feeling future consequences with present intensity. You know the charge will matter later, but later does not feel real enough. Later is a foggy place full of imaginary discipline. A magical land where future you is apparently organized, rested, and financially responsible. A mythical creature, often discussed, rarely seen. And once money gets abstract, spending gets easier. That is why digital payment changed everything. Cash used to force a moment. You touched the loss. You saw the amount leave your hand. Now it is a screen glow and a soft little confirmation sound. A tiny digital lullaby. Tap. Done. Pain reduced. Resistance lowered. Memory weakened. which means the system is not just taking your money, it is redesigning the emotional experience of losing it. Another warning. When spending feels frictionless, that is not convenience alone. That is behavioral engineering. And behavioral engineering does not work for your freedom by accident. But the ugliest part is what happens after the purchase. Because the purchase does not solve the pressure, it interrupts it. Briefly, a little lift, a little dopamine, a tiny sense of reward. Then the bill remains, the debt remains, the instability remains. And now you also have regret sitting next to them like a smug little roommate. So the stress comes back, usually stronger. Because now your discomfort has a receipt. This creates the loop. Stress leads to spending. Spending leads to tighter money. Tighter money leads to more stress. More stress lowers control. Lower control creates more spending. Not always because you are careless, often because your nervous system is cornered. And cornered people do not behave like spreadsheets. They behave like human beings under pressure, which is exactly why the machine works so well. A broke person is not useless to the system. A broke person is profitable. As long as they keep moving, keep clicking, keep borrowing, keep subscribing, keep trying to buy relief from the same environment causing the pain. Elegant, really. Cruel, but elegant. This is why being broke today often does not look like old poverty. It can wear decent clothes, hold a smartphone, use food delivery apps, make minimum payments on time, smile at brunch, and still be one real emergency away from panic. That is not contradiction, that is the design. The system does not need you reckless. It only needs you tired, distracted, socially pressured, convenience-trained, emotionally underfed, and separated from the true cost of your habits. That is enough. Then one day people look at their bank history and ask the wrong question. Where did my money go? As if it wandered off into the woods, as if it packed a bag and abandoned them. No, it was extracted in pieces, in moments of weakness, in moments sold as rewards, in moments that felt too small to matter. That is how financial erosion works. Not always like an explosion, often like a leak. So here is the practical part. Boring, useful, annoyingly effective. Add friction, make spending slower, remove saved cards, turn off one-click buying, delete the apps that convert discomfort into purchases. Force your future self to confront the number before the money leaves. Not because discipline is glamorous, because friction is defense. Then track the spending that happens when you are tired, angry, lonely, or stressed. That is where the real pattern lives. Most people do not have only a money problem. They have a state management problem that keeps dressing up as a money problem. Very rude of the brain. Very expensive too. And stop calling every small pleasure harmless. Some pleasures are rest, some are recovery, some are life, but some are just panic wearing perfume. Learn the difference, because the system will not teach it to you. The system benefits from confusion, from shame, from repetition, from people who think they have a willpower defect when they are really standing inside a machine designed to harvest impulse. And once you see that, the whole thing gets uglier, but at least it gets clearer. So here is the blunt truth. You are not just fighting bad habits. You are fighting an economy that survives by turning stress into consumption. And if you never interrupt that loop, being broke will not be a phase. It will become your lifestyle. A polished one, a normalized one, a socially acceptable one, but broke all the same. The system does not mind if you suffer. It only minds if you stop spending. So tell me this, what drains your money faster now? Stress, convenience, social pressure, or boredom? And what is one thing you know you spend on even when you already know you should not?